All right, Shalom, Israel. Brakatay How, Brakatay How Shai, Brakatay How Shai, Brakatay How Shai. Call Halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, rule well through the Spirit. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching and living the word in sincerity and truth. All right, this is Yahweh from GMS Dallas. Back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And just wanted to kind of go through a quick exhortation for Akim, just in the spirit concerning cutting off the flesh, and growing, in this thing of ours. Because, when you first come in this truth, you were coming out of the world, man, and you come out and you however old you are, whether you come in this truth when you're 20, 25, 30, or somewhere in between, or wherever the age it is, there's a lot of BS that was placed on you when placed on us when we were in the world, and so coming to this truth, the scriptures say that we're newborn babes. You have to be born again, as the Lord quoted to Nicodemus in John the 3rd chapter. So you're pretty much starting all over. You're trying to wash away the filth of this world, and that takes time, man. Especially, I came into this truth when I was 25 years old. So yeah, 25 years old, 25 years of bullshit, from the world. 25 years of defiled thoughts, defiled actions, that you have to wash away and that you have to come out of, years of doing something for so long, it's almost like it's second nature to you. So you have to really come out of that, and in doing so, when you go in this truth, you that's how you start to grow. The more you participate, the more you have a mindset towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and the more you do the works, then that's a process of you cutting off certain things and getting that spirit off of you, But like I said, everything it's a process, and so in doing that, you have to continue in that process. You have to continue trimming, as the brother's been, the spirit has been on heavy, particularly in our camp as well, of trimming your lamps, trimming the fat, growing, having a right mindset, and that's been being pushed heavily right now, cutting off certain things that can hold you back in the flesh, and how do you do that, man? You just got to do that at the end of the day, stop doing certain things or whatever actions you do that aren't of the truth, but it's not unlawful, but it may not be expedient. You participate in certain activities less, whether it's playing video games, watching TV, things of that nature, All right, so you participate less and you work on cutting off certain things, and in doing so, that opens up your spirit and gets you closer to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You fast more, you get in the habit of really fast. You practice good spiritual habits, man. Particularly want to speak on the nature of fasting, man. That's a big thing. If you're not doing that, I strongly suggest you do it more. It's beneficial, because what does that do? You starve your flesh to feed your spirit, man. And then that's what it's all about, feeding that spirit and not feeding into the flesh at the end of the day. That's a big benefit of it. Or if you fasting from drinking, or if you fasting from watching certain TV shows, or you fasting from whatever it is that brings joy to you on a fleshly level, you starve that, and in doing so, that feeds your spirit. Because if you always feed your flesh, then your spirit gets starved, and then you end up falling out. You end up not remembering all the breakdowns. You not remembering scriptures. The spirit just may not be on you to even speak. You may be quiet in the spirit because why? You don't have anything spiritual to say, because you're always feeding your flesh, man. So in doing so, you cutting off, you starving those things that feed your flesh, to do what? That allows you to feed your spirit more, and that grows your spirit, man. And you're able to last in this thing for longevity, and you get strength in the spirit at the end of the day. So you don't want to sow to the flesh, you want to sow to the spirit as much as possible, because we're in those times where the flesh ain't gonna profit anything. Okay, your spirit is what's gonna dictate whether you live or die. Okay, you're gonna have to make spiritual decisions, and sometimes it's gonna have to be on the fly, to where you can't think about it. It's gonna have to be second nature in the spirit. That's why the Elder Ariel has been practicing habits. Don't worry about the result. Focus on the habits. And the more you do those habits, okay, then that result is gonna bring about anyway. But and that's anything that you do in life. You want to have good habits. Well, I played basketball. So if you want to be a good basketball player, if you're a shooter or if you're a ball handler, what do? You practice those habits every day of different shooting drills. Getting different shooting drills. Working out, run for a little bit, get a sweat going, get tired, and then shoot. That way you can shoot when you're tired. Your legs may, you may be maybe the fourth quarter, but you've already been practicing those drills every day. You're running, you're exhausted, but you're still shooting to where that form is second nature, even when you're tired, man. So it's about practicing those good habits in the spirit to when it's time to perform, it's second nature. That's why you see guys like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, they're hitting impossible shots because they practice that over and over again. Steph Curry hitting 35-foot threes in between somebody's eyes and their face. Why? Because you're practicing that. I'm just saying that because I can relate to basketball. But you want to practice those good habits and sow to that spirit versus sowing to that flesh and feeding your flesh. Okay? So I had that 2 Corinthians up, but since I said that, we're going to go to Galatians first. I'll say this is Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So you don't want to fool yourself, man. You don't want to fool yourself and thinking that you can fool the Most High, man. The Most High ain't mocked. He can't be made fun of. You can't get over on the Most High. You can't swindle Yahweh Shem Yahushua, okay? He had his scriptures say his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So he can look into our spirits. He can try the reins. He can see the intents of your heart, and which is your mind. In the Hebrew, it's lab, okay? So you can't fool the Most High. So what you sowing, that's what you're gonna reap, man. Verse 8: For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Okay. So if you sow into your flesh and fulfilling your fleshly desires all the time, then you're gonna reap of the flesh, and that's gonna be corruption, man, because the flesh isn't gonna last here. Okay, that's a corruptible crown. Okay, that's temporary right now. But if you sow into the Spirit, you're gonna reap life everlasting. Okay, you're gonna actually be able to make it out of here, out of Jacob's trouble. You're gonna be able to last. You're gonna be able to grow and maintain in this truth. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, we'll go to verse 18. Actually, we'll start at verse 17. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So we have liberty in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, okay, because we're not under the law. Okay, we're under the law of faith, to where we're not held accountable completely by the law, man. It's by the spirit of faith in the spirit, But you don't want to use, the scriptures say you don't use that liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, and give occasion to the flesh, man. And so what is that was it saying? So you don't want to give, you don't want to get into things that they may be that are unlawful but not expedient, As like I said, as that spirit's being pushed, But we all with the open face, beholding in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. So you cut off certain things, and you approach it with a more serious mindset, day by day, that we can go from glory to glory, man. And what is that glory? The ultimate glory is the kingdom. Okay, the law, statutes, commandments written in our hearts. So you're pressing towards that mark. Okay, that's the ultimate goal. And so you take steps to get to that goal. Just like you're playing a video game, okay? You start at level 1, you level up in the spirit, man. You do certain in the video game they'll have certain tests or what's the word I'm looking for, or certain activities or certain different levels or things that you have to do to complete certain goals for each level, okay? To where you can level up and you get experience points for that. Okay, and so we have to get experience points in this truth. Okay, going from levels, you can't be the same person, at the end of the day. You can't have the same type of spirit. You can't be doing the same thing, because you'll never grow. You'll never increase. Okay, if you're not completing the goals, okay, the achievements, okay. If you're not achieving anything in the spirit, then you're never going to grow. All right. We read that again. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord. All right, and so we can, as a glass is transparent. Okay, we're able to see the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We have the understanding. Versus when you read up, it talks about the veil of Moses with the understanding of the children of Israel, the 2/3, their understanding being darkened. They don't have the understanding. You know, they don't have the complete understanding of the spirit. That's why you have certain Israelite groups that talk about it's all about the law, the law, the law. You have the Israelites 2/3 in the world that's in the church talking about the law is done away with. It's all about faith, you know. But the hopeful elect, okay, chiefly the men of Great Millstone, that spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai has opened it up to us, starting with the apostles and elders on down. That what you actually able to bring everything together, you know. This is the law of faith, and you follow the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, but you ultimately understand that it's faith and belief in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, or in Yahushai. Okay, that's what's gonna save you, having that faith. Okay, because we can't keep the laws perfectly, but you do the best you can in the spirit, and you have your intentions and your spirit and your wants. It's what's gonna save you. You know, well, ultimately is you have to be of the elect. But the elect is going to be covered by the blood of Yahushua. You know, and you do the best you can to be of diligence to make your call and election sure. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah 58, because like I said, it's really about, you know, I kind of want to hinge on the point of fasting, you know. So I don't want brothers to forget that the point of fasting, like I said, it's all about cutting out, starving that flesh, man, to feed your spirit, and fasting is a good way, but it's a big part of it, but you know there's other ways, but kind of hinged on that point. Isaiah 58, starting at verse 5. It is such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul. It is such a fast I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul, and that's what you do, man. You afflict your soul. Okay, and when you fast, like I said, ultimately the actual fast is you don't eat food for at least 24 hours. You know, but there's other fasts that you can do. You know, you can do a water fast where you just drink water. You know, you could do a fast where you don't drink liquor for a certain amount of time. You fast where you don't eat meat, but ultimately it's you don't eat, and you afflict your soul. You know, in doing that, so you starve your flesh to feed your spirit, man. You know. Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast and acceptable day to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? And so a bulrush, if you ever seen that, these are plants that grow primarily around the area of Egypt. You know, when you look at them, they kind of bow their head down. You know, that's to humble themselves. So that's what you're doing. You're humbling yourselves. You're humbling yourself at the end of the day. You know, you're starving, and it bringing affliction upon yourself. And what does that do? That opens up your understanding, you know, that brings you closer to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because you're showing a willingness to not to give yourself pleasure. You know, you're taking certain pleasures away, and that's beautiful in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know, because if you're always feeding your flesh, you know, the Most High doesn't take kindly to that. Why? Because you're putting everything else in front of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay, that's idol worship at the end of the day, man. You know, verse 6, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke? And so that's what it does, man. It loosens the bands of wickedness. You know, it frees you up from that. You know, to where you're in a more spiritual mind state, more righteous mind state, to where your spirit is stronger, to where you don't give in to those wicked pleasures. You know, you don't give in to certain pleasures. You know, you have a certain mind state. You know, to where you don't even you really despise wickedness. You know, and you're seeing clearly. Read again, verse 6, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens? And that's when you get rid of certain burdens, because what the Lord tell you now, certain things you stop and do, but the deeper things that are written more into you, as far as this flesh and these and certain demons and certain things that you can't get over. Sometimes you just can't get over it by just not doing it anymore. You know, that's why the disciples asked the Lord, why is it that they couldn't cast out certain demons? He said, because those are the stronger demons. Those have to be done with fasting and prayer. You know, and that's how you get rid of those heavier things. You know, those heavy burdens that you're really struggling with. You fast and you pray, and you cut off certain things, and that gives you strength, and that the Most High will take that spirit off you, and he'll return unto you a righteous spirit. Okay. and to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke. Okay, you're breaking these yokes of sin, because the scriptures say that sin is sold unto is written in us. Paul spoke about that. It's sin that dwelleth in me. So to get as much of it as possible, because we're all made subject to vanity. So we're not gonna be completely perfect on this side, but you'll be strong enough, and you'll be doing that. You'll be strong enough to last, and you'll have what's needed for us to get through Jacob's trouble, to get through all the persecution, to Lord want to come out and get delivered. Colossians chapter 3 verse 1. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. If you be risen, so what is it saying? If we be risen with Yahushua, if we believe and believe that He shed His blood for us to be quickened, which means to be made alive, we have to seek those things which are above, man, in the heavens. Okay, what the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you have to seek the will, man, because the scriptures say in the Lord's Prayer, on earth as it is in heaven. So you have to seek those heavenly things, that will and that perfect will that the heavens, that the spirit world is under, because the earth right now is not under the complete will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It's being ran on the left hand side through the spiritual demon Satan, through his physical counterpart, so-called white man, Esau, the devil, according to the Bible. So we have to seek those things that are in the heavens, where the complete and utter will is being done with through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Like I said, because these things on the earth right now is temporary, it's vain, and it's all tainted and polluted. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for it is polluted, it shall destroy you with the sword of destruction, loosely paraphrasing. So these things on the earth right now are temporary. These works, all those things are going to be destroyed and burnt up in the thermonuclear destruction, and a new kingdom is going to be established. To where this whole way of life is going to be destroyed, but this is the way of life that's on earth right now, on the left-hand side. So you don't want to set your affection on these things. These things are all temporal and will destroy you. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. When Yahushua, who is our life, shall appear, then shall you also appear with Him in glory. So you don't want to glorify yourself in things on this earth right now, man. Because it ain't our time yet. It's time to just be dead to this world, put your head down, grind, and be as spiritual as possible. For when it's time to shine and get the glorification at the right time, that's when you'll get it. Verse 5, this is the point. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. So you have to cut these things off, man. Does it mean literally cut off members of your body? No, man. It's cut off fornication, which is a spiritual fornication, because we already know the carnal fornication is what? Adultery. And when you come to this truth, you first figure that out. You don't sleep with another man's woman. So what is it talking about? The spiritual fornication, other beliefs and doctrines. A thought, a mindset. You cut off certain ways that you think, man, and you grow your mind spiritually. Uncleanness, inordinate affection. Okay, loving things that you know you don't have no business. You're having your affection and your wants out of order, man. Evil concupiscence, evil concupiscence. Unbridled lust, and covetousness, which is idolatry. All those things are idolatries, man. All those things is what got us in the position that we are now. Being in captivity, being in subjection under the basest man on the planet, man. Our people being put to death, sick as all hell, bugged out our minds, on the bottom, all those things have gotten us in the captivity and got us placed in America. Now it's time to get rid of that, man. That's why the Most High said, thou shalt have no other gods before me, man. That's one of the first commandments, Verse 6, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. And that's what happened, man. We were disobedient, being ridiculous, idolatrous, and now we're in America. And so you want to cut those things off, because this land is the land of idols, man. Oh, this is the most idolatrous kingdom ever, because it has all those idols, all those false gods, all these different ways of the heathen compiled into one kingdom, man. So this is the land of idolatry. They have a show called American Idol, man. They just all out with it, And And so those things is what will get you killed, man. To get you smoked, man. That won't get you saved. Why? Because we see what happens when you're idolatrous and you have all these things and that you're doing all these things. Okay, we're in slavery because of that. It's time to return back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. You know. So since I covered that, let's get Matthew the 5th chapter. It's Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell. So that doesn't mean literally pluck out your right eye. That means that there's something that's holding you back in the flesh. Hey, you cut it off, man. You work on minimizing it, you know, because there's balance to it, so that you can do certain things, but you have to have balance and proper perspective. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has to come first, man. And I said that's the spirit that's being pushed right now, you know. So you want to really, you know, work on it, focus on it, take a look in the mirror, and a great way to put things in perspective is fasting and prayer, and the Most High will reveal those things unto you. Okay, to where you starve your flesh, to where you can see clearly. Verse 30, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and that thy whole body should be cast in hell. So you want to let those things, like I said, quoting those heavy burdens in Isaiah the 58th chapter, you don't want those heavy burdens to get you smoked, man. Because that shit, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's not compared to the glory and everything that we're going to have when we're delivered, man. All right, okay? When you follow the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, and putting Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua first, okay, we're going to get everything, man. That's why the scripture said, I have not seen, nor have ear heard, nor entered the hearts of men, the things that the Most High has in store for them that love him, man. And how do you show love? Keeping up his commandments, man. And his commandments are not grievous. Okay? Let's get Joel chapter 2, and then we'll end it off on that. Joel chapter 2, verse 12. Therefore also now, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. And that's what we have to do, man. We turn continuously. We have to turn every day, man. You know, because we're still under these curses. This sin is still dwelling and sold into us right now. So we have to turn to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua daily, man. And one of the ways, like I've been pushing and saying in this lesson, is fasting, man. Fasting with weeping and with mourning. Humbling yourself, man. That's the only way we're going to get out of here and lead this destruction. Because when you read up in the first chapter, it talks about the day of the Lord being darkness and not light. And then it leads into chapter 2, which what does it describe? The nuclear missiles coming to pelt this wicked ass place, man. And then right after that, actually, I'm gonna go to verse 11. Joel 2:11. And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, which was his voice. Okay, the prophets, his men going out and prophesying. We're going out there prophesying the coming destruction that's on this place. So if you're prophesying the destruction and you're trying to tell everyone else, we're here as well. We're still going to be here. So we have to do things that we do, that we know what we need to do to not partake in it on the left hand side, man. We want to be saved out of that. For his camp is very great. For he is strong that executed his word, and the Most High is going to execute his word. His word unto him does not return. His word does not return unto him void. When you read Isaiah 55, so the Most High is going to execute this. He's going to execute this destruction, man. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? So he goes into it again, man. It's great and very terrible. Who can abide it, man? Only the people that's going to abide it are the people that the Most High, that are chosen from the foundation of earth, first off, but also that are doing the things they need to do in the spirit to please the Heavenly Father, to be delivered out of here. Okay? At verse 12, now it goes into what needs to be done. One of the main things is, therefore also now, saith Yahweh, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. So humbling ourselves, man. Repenting. Cutting off certain things. Cutting off your flesh and not putting certain things before Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Now, it is a process, man, but you have to be actively trying to grow in that process. Like the y'all said, Most High is not going to put gas in the parked car. You know, so if you're not actively moving in the spirit, then you're not going to last, man. You're not going to be strengthened. So we have to do those things, fasting and weeping and mourning and humbling, you know, cutting off things in the flesh. Work on that more. Work on more cutting off these things, and that will detach you from this world. Okay? Because the scriptures say, Pat, the fashion of this world is going to pass away, man. Actually, we'll grab that real quick, and then we'll end it off. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So what? And these things in the world right now is not of the Most High, you know. And if you engulf in these things, man, the love of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not in you, okay, or it won't last in you, okay. You'll be another fallout, okay. You'll be a part of that story versus being written up in the book of life, okay. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So this present world, okay, if you can't cut these things off, man, you're gonna pass away, because all these things in this world it's gonna perish. It's gonna be destroyed. And if you can't let go of it, then you're gonna be destroyed right along with it. Okay. So that's pretty much all I had. Lord willing, this is edifying for Akim and to galvanize the brothers in the spirit, you know, because we're coming to those times where you gotta cut off more things. You know, you gotta prioritize things in the spirit, man. You know, speaking to myself first and foremost is why I'm doing this lesson. Okay, you have to let go of those things, man. Otherwise, you're not gonna last. You're gonna be stagnant, and ultimately the spirit's gonna remove you, man. You can still be cool, but a spiritual man can see when spiritual brothers can see when your spirit is waning, and see when you're off, man. And ultimately, you just can't be no cool nigga no more. You know, you just can't be cool. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have you have to be spiritual. You know, your works have to manifest in the spirit, man. You just can't be cool. You know, and ultimately you could be cool, but hey, you could still be removed. You know, you ain't gotta be a whole ass nigga, but if you ain't spiritual and if you ain't working in your spirit and your works ain't being seen in the spirit, you could still be removed at the end of the day. All right. So with that, Lord was edifying for Akim. Again, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone, rule well through the spirit. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.